Invincible, episode 6. I can't believe we're episode 6. We got, I think, about a couple more weeks and then the show's over. So, next week's episode and the week after that's episode, and that's it. 2 more episodes to go, which is crazy. I really love this show. Though this is kind of one of my least favorite episodes because I think a lot of the story beats are good, but they don't flow together super well, and there's a lot of plot points I'm not too interested in. So, but yeah, I think let's get in here with this episode. So, this episode starts off, we see a dude get cut apart and turned into some kind of cyborg, and then and in a very gory way. But yeah, that was pretty interesting. And what's really cool about that moment is number one, in that scene, which Ezra Miller actually plays the villain in this episode, and Justin Roiland played the guy who was getting ripped apart in the first part of this episode. But basically, but then it cuts and we see all the superheroes were being ripped apart and put back together. We see all that, or not ripped apart, but healed from, operated on basically from the events of last week's episode. And yeah, Mark healed up pretty quick. The rest of them not so good shape, which is interesting because it seemed like Mark was in the worst shape more than anybody there, but I guess he is a Voltramite or whatever, so I guess that's a thing. But yeah, that's pretty So Amber was told he got hit by a bus, so they go to this college, and Mark can kind of prove himself, but their relationship is just kind of on the rocks, and it just kind of goes downhill the whole episode. And they bring Mark's friend along, who eventually finds out he's invincible, and he's pretty excited about it until he gets captured, and then they have to stop this villain who's trying to rip out people's emotions and make them cyborgs, which is pretty disturbing and incredibly messed up, but yeah. But yeah, that's kind of this episode. And then we also see the subplot with Omni-Man and his wife finally actually confronting him about it, and we don't really get a resolution to that. So I kind of feel like that should have been a thing in next week's episode because of the fact that there is no resolution to it. And this episode could have just been like a shorter episode about Invincible kind of not wanting to be a hero and stuff. But yeah, it's a good episode, but I think a lot of these plot points, a lot of them don't flow together as well as they normally do in the show. So it is one of my least favorite episodes, but still, it's a pretty good episode. It's like pretty good to great, so that's the standard of the show. So it's like even the worst episodes are pretty good. So. It was really cool to see Justin Roiland cameo in this episode, though. Really enjoyed the show, and I definitely want to see more. Oh, also those goons that we saw broken out in one of the first 3 episodes, we kind of get a sense of what they're up to now. They're doing something involving DNA, and I'm guessing Robot Man hired them to make another Omni-Man or something. I don't know what that is. That's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens. But yeah, great episode.